sure up, you'll know when the sound comes up. As soon as we get into halfway through the little intro, you're up.
$20. They're all alive for $20. They keep on playing, but nobody's saying, why does it do $20. $20. Their fingers bleed for $20. They can't pay the rent. How much you got to be spent? You can get by on $20. Bye, boys.
$20.
Jabor. I love Jabor. Anyway, welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks and Maggie, and come into our kitchen. The weather's hot. It probably is with you wherever you're watching. I know England's got a heat wave. France has got a heat wave. America's got a heat wave. We're all sort of melting. Thank goodness for the air conditioning down here. So I was thinking, we don't want to heat up the kitchen. Any cooking that we want to do it early in the morning before it gets hot. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. The peas are coming up in the garden. They're coming up rapidly. So I'm going to do a chilled minted pea soup. I've got somebody going, don't like that. It's actually quite delicious. But the nice thing about this soup is you can either eat it chilled or eat it hot. This time of the year, I like to eat a nice chilled soup. It makes, what I'm doing this today is going to make a nice light lunch. So we're going to heat the soup, and then we're going to do some peanut sablés as an accompaniment to eat with the soup instead of bread. Now the sablé is really, it's a savoury shortbread, and they've got peanuts in. Now if somebody's got an allergy to peanuts, leave them out. And then we're going to do a Greek salad. So we can have all this on one plate, sit outside in the shade, feet up, and have a nice easy lunch. So to begin with, we're going to make the peanut sablés. I've got flour and butter in there. I'll talk about the cheese later. That's special. Water, some salted peanuts, and an egg. I'm just going to whisk the egg up to begin with. There's just one egg, but it's doubled again, which I'm not complaining about. Now that's a little bit, when you're beating an egg for a glaze, just put a little salt in like that. It breaks down the membrane and it makes a smoother glaze. So we just beat that over there like that. There we are. Doesn't need to be beaten down too much. Now I'm going to wash my hands because I'm going to have to put my hands in there. You can cut the butter in into the flour with a knife, but I'm old-fashioned. In England we rub it in, and I'm not very good at cutting in, so I'm going to rub in. I tried to keep the butter cool. I didn't want it rock hard, so it's not too bad. So again, like making pastry, you're just going to use the tip of the fingers. Try and keep that part of the hand clean. Just quickly turn your hands over. just quickly rub it in. It's a little bit sticky today because, as I say, everything's very, very warm. We don't want to overwork it. That'll do. Rinse my hands again. When I was training, the lecturer used to come round and check the palm of your hands to make sure that you were doing it correctly. If not, believe you me, you were in trouble. She was about that high, a little Yorkshire lady, and she knew exactly what she was doing, and she was very strict but extremely good, but you didn't get the wrong side of her. So we're going to add a little water. Now I've given you, I said 2 tablespoons full of water. It just depends which flour you're using, because some flours are harder than others. A harder flour will take more liquid. If you're making this in England, you'll use a different amount of water to the flour that you use in France, because the flour in France is softer than England, and England's quite a soft flour, a lot softer than here. So I'm just going to add, add this gently. We don't want to overmix, and this is something that you make up in a hurry, so it's not fine art. It's something that you would make up as you're making the soup. You're not going to be in the kitchen for too long with the heat. So I just like to have a knife like that which I can, I just need a little flour on there. Again, use the fingertips, pull it together like that, just to make a ball. Gently knead. It is a little bit wet, but it's not too bad. And by the time we get some flour on the board, there we are. You see, we're just using the fingertips, a little flour. I'm using a cake flour today. You could use an all-purpose flour. If you're using an all-purpose flour, it will take just a little bit more water. So just again, pull it into the center like that. It's very, don't treat it gently. Now my long rolling pin. I'm going to move, you know what I've not done? I've not added the cheese. Now that was stupid of me. Never mind, it happens. Now this cheese, you can see, it's quite red. If I was in England, I would use a red Leicester for this. But I've got a mixture of cheeses here. I've got, this is a Welsh cheese. I've got an Irish cheese, and I've got some Canadian cheese. And this is, it's called a Red Devil, and it's from Snowdon, and it's got chilies in it. So it is quite, believe you me, it is quite peppery. So I'm going to add that. This isn't the ideal way to do it, but if you forget, yeah, it works. You know, if you happen to be, it often happens, you cook in, the phone goes. You pick the phone up, you have a conversation, and you forget where you got to, and you've probably left something out. So it can be added. There we are, just like that. And we're going to roll this out. I need some space. We can get rid of that. My ridiculously long rolling pin. There we are. Now we want a square. So just keep shaping like that. And we need an 8-inch square roughly, which If I'm not mistaken, that should be not far away. Another couple of, and look, I just so happen to have a ruler. Where's 8 inches? There we are. 8, yeah. Now, just trim the edges off like that because we want to keep it nice and straight. We're not going, I want to waste as little as possible. So let's get rid of that. Put it over there. And so we're going to cut into 3 or 4 strips. I thought I'd got my big knife there. There we are. So we'll cut it into 4. Like that. And now I'm going to just brush these strips, just separate them out a little bit. I'm going to brush these strips with my egg. That could have been beaten a little bit better, but there we are. So that we have a nice glaze. Don't waste that. I won't waste the egg. I will put some cling film over it and probably have scrambled eggs for breakfast in the morning, or put it in towards a yogurt, an omelette, like that. That will go back in the fridge. And now the chopped peanuts. These are quite moreish, and I would suggest making a batch like this, and if you like them, make a few double or treble the amount and keep them in an airtight tin. They really are they're quite delicious, and it makes a lovely snack. So just press down lightly. It seems to be a good time in the stores to buy salted peanuts. I went into 2 yesterday and they'd both got salted peanuts on sale. So somebody's take my peanuts. I could do with a few more peanuts. Please. You can't have anything in this house. If the dogs don't eat it, somebody else does, who's behind the camera. There we are. We'll just chop up a few more peanuts. Put those there. Quickly chop like that. Keep the end of the knife down, the point of the knife down. There we go. Just press them in gently. We've got a bare patch there, a bare patch there. We'll use them all up. There we are. Now, you can cut them into squares, triangles. You don't want to waste anything, so make nice shapes out of it. It doesn't matter. Big ones, little ones. Some people will only want a little taste, so they can have one. We'll have a couple of squares like that. Let your imagination fly. And these will take about 15 minutes in the oven. We'll keep an eye on the oven and make sure that they're not overcooking. So they need to be separated so that they can cook. I like these because they're savoury, there's no sugar in. That's a little bit of herb there. But as I say, if you can't eat tree nuts, then just leave them off. If you can't eat tree nuts, I'd probably just save some of your grated cheese and put some of the grated cheese on the top. We don't want them to touch. It's amazing how much space. You think you've got a big... There we are. That one can go in there. And we've got one more, which can go in that corner there. So that's all there is to making the sablés. And I've got the oven on at 350. Now let's just put them in there. I'll watch the time. Let's just clear up a little bit, and then we're ready to make the soup. You see, my ruler doubles up as a scraper, and this makes clean up so much easier. There we are. And then just put a bowl underneath, scrape in the residue, and that's it. We'll just wipe down the tabletop. So you see, it doesn't take much, and it doesn't create much mess, because who wants to be in the kitchen? You can make these if you're at the cottage, on a boat, because if you've got a spare wine bottle and you haven't got a rolling pin, use that for your rolling pin. I've done that many times. It works just as well. So, excuse me, I need a drink. And it is only Coke. Now, we're going to do the chilled mint soup. So turn the stove on. I have done this many times in front of you. I've cooked the onion, and I put a little garlic in, just 1 clove of garlic. I'm doing half the recipe because I've already made half, and there's only 2 of us, so I didn't want 6 servings. So the onion is cooked. Now I've got I only want 2 cups of vegetable or chicken stock, and I only want to put 1 cup in there. So there we are. Let's bring this up to the boil. And you can either use fresh peas or frozen peas. If you're using fresh peas, they'll take about 5 minutes just to cook until they're tender. Frozen peas will take about 2 minutes. Now, we've eaten all the peas in the garden. We ate them the other night. So I'm using frozen peas. And so let's put the frozen peas in there, like that. And this will just take a few minutes just until they're tender. And it makes a beautiful green soup. And here I've got some fresh mint straight out of the garden. It smells delicious. And I've got a little cream there. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the cream. There we are. They're just about almost coming up to the boil. I'll show you. I'm going to go back to the table and just show you what the soup looks like. This is a soup that's come straight out of the fridge. And I'm going to taste this now whilst that's cooking, because as that's a nice, can you see it's a nice green soup? And I'm going to taste it because as things cool, then the taste alters a little bit. And it might need just a little bit more seasoning. No, that's perfect. So when you're making the soup and you're seasoning when it's cooking, don't over season. You can add it when it gets to this stage, but you can't take it away. So let's see how these have cooked, because these are so tender. Just a few more seconds. And then I'm going to add some more liquid. I've got a little extra liquid and a little extra cream, just in case it's a little bit thick. You might have been a little bit heavy-handed with the peas. It doesn't matter. Everything is it's negotiable, as the saying goes. Now I've switched that off and I'm going to move it over onto here because I don't want it to cook any longer. I'm going to add just a little more stock. We can add a little bit more later, a drop more later. The mint is going in there, and there's mint and parsley all mixed together in there. There we are. And now I'm going to liquidize, and I like a hand blender. It's going to make a noise, so bear with me. I'm going to add a drop more stock to that, and I'm going to add a drop of cream. You could add it at this stage, you could add a drop of white wine actually. That would be lovely. This is where you have to talk amongst yourselves, because I can't hurry this up. There we are, we're just about there. And I'm going to, it's just a little bit thick, a drop more. I think I put a few more peas in this one than I did the other. So now we're going to do the taste test. I don't like leaving, ow, that's hot. Let's have a look. It will need a little salt and pepper. This is my mixture, which I keep in a jar on the back, and it's salt and pepper, 3 salt to 1 pepper, and that's the ratio. So let's just put a little in there. Stir it around. That's just about right, because we can add a little more when it's cool. I need a drop more cream. Now, if you were serving this hot, because that's still quite hot, it could be served straight into the soup bowl, or you could just heat it up to 35% cream, so it will stand a higher heat. But that is going to be left there. After the show, I'll put it in the fridge, and we can chill that either for later tonight or maybe for tomorrow. So I'm going to take this back over here, and it's summer, so I like things to be nice and light when I'm serving. So this is actually, I think it's Victorian, and it really is either a fruit bowl or a candy bowl, but you can serve it for anything. It's thick glass. It wasn't the best when it was manufactured. It's a good serviceable piece of glass, but I like to put this in here like that, because it's cool, and I think that looks rather nice. We do have some fresh mint to go on there, and some chopped chives for the top, just like that. And for the topping, now you can either put this on there or in a bowl when you serve it, and it's sour cream and cream. And let's make some space again. Whoops, my flowers are in the way. That's a serving ladle, and I've got in here, I've got some sour cream and some 35% cream. We're just going to whisk the two together like that. Now I would I'm going to put a blob on there, and I'll put a blob on when I serve, but I would make some of this up in a nice bowl and just hand it round to people, and so when they have the soup they can put some of this on top. You can put this on the hot soup as well. It's delicious. So, but some people don't want the extra cholesterol, so just let them make their own minds up. So I'm just going to put a blob on like that, because it will sink in, because it's quite heavy compared to the soup. And where's my mint? This is out of the garden. I used 2 different mints in with the mint. I used a spearmint and just an ordinary mint. I haven't got any chocolate mint this year, but I normally have some chocolate mint as well, and so I like growing all different mints, all different flavours. So you see, that makes, it's nice, it's light, it's airy, and we'll just put that back. And you could put that on the table, and it makes a nice centerpiece. That's my oregano. I'm just going to check in the oven now, because I can smell. Not quite. Almost, you can see, not quite. They're almost there, but not quite. So whilst they're cooking, we'll get the, just assemble the Greek salad. And I'm going to use my glass bowl again for this. And this is a little bit different for a Greek salad because it doesn't have any lettuce in it. But I'm going to put some lettuce on the serving plate. So I've got tarragon vinegar in here, homemade tarragon vinegar and olive oil. And you see, I'm just whisking until an emulsion forms. There we are, we've got a nice emulsion in there. And I will need some of these. And where's the tomatoes? I have lost my tomatoes. I've got onions, so we can put the onions in. Cucumber. Just keep mixing so that everything is covered. Peppers. Let me have another look in the fridge. If not, I've got some more tomatoes. They must be in the other fridge. Just let me check. Nope, they're in here. I've got so much in the fridge at the moment because of the heat. There we are. There's the tomatoes. And my olives. This Greek salad doesn't have olives in because I've got a lot of friends that don't like olives, and I've got some friends that are actually allergic to olives. So I'm tending to leave olives out and just put them on the side. Now, I'm an olive fanatic. I can eat olives in any shape or form. I want to make sure that every little piece of cucumber is covered. And we have, I hadn't got green pepper today, but I'd got red pepper. So, as I said before, you know, don't go out and buy a special pepper. If you've only got green, or if you've only got yellow, orange or red peppers, use those. And feta. Yeah. I cheated. I bought crumb feta because otherwise you have to chop it, and I don't like doing that. Fresh oregano. This is oregano that was growing in the garden. So fresh oregano in there. And I'm going to put just a little salt and pepper. Not too much, because remember, your feta is salty. So you see, I can smell those sablés. Oh yeah. Oh yes. They will harden as they cool. Take my oven off, but they're beautiful. So we've got this, and I'm going to test it for seasoning. Just in case we need to season. We'll taste the juice at the bottom, the dressing. It needs just a little salt and pepper. Now, if you can't eat ground pepper that's already been ground, because I know some people can't, then just have your pepper grinder at by the side of you. And I've used sea salt. The sea salt that I had was quite, the crystals were quite large. So I just ground them in my salt grinder to make it a little bit finer. So that is your Greek salad. So I show you what I'm going to do. This is where it gets clever. We're going to put the sablé on here. They're still quite, they're still a little bit fragile, so I would let them just stand a little bit longer and cool. We'll put a plate of sablé out. Like that. Just a plate of sablé. We can come back to those later. So we've got a plate of sablé, we've got our salad, we've got our soup, and we've got the olives. So I was going to serve the soup. I have some old-fashioned wine glasses and dessert glasses. The dessert glass really wasn't quite large enough for a helping of soup. So I've got a nice little china bowl. You need something nice and light and cheerful for summer. So let's put some of that in there. Like so. Just make sure that you clean off the bowl. Like that. We're going to put a little more cream on there, and just to serve it, just a few more chives. Like that. Another little blob of cream in the centre. And have I got any mint left? I've only got some spearmint left, but that's okay. We'll put some spearmint on there, like that. I'm going to push that to one side, make sure my plate is clean. And I've got, oh, look, guess what? I found some more mint. Let's put another mint leaf on there. Put that into the water. Our lettuce is getting very, very close to finishing, so I thought I'd just break the stem of the lettuce so that it lies flat, like that. So I'm going to put some lettuce there, like that, and carefully, whoa, that's too carefully, I didn't get anything, some Greek salad on the plate. And I want some cucumber, some feta, just some peppers, like that. And I'm going to put a few olives on there, because you can use green olives, black olives. I like my olives, and I will be eating this, so this is my supper. Yay. And I think I will be able to eat a couple of pieces of sablé, like that. Oh, maybe a third. What shape? We'll have that one, like that. We'll move those out of the way. And that is supper, the nice soup. The soup Let's move that. Nice green soup, a colourful salad to go with it. And we could actually get just a little juice out of there on the salad, some of the dressing, and we'll just spoon it over, because that's where a lot of the taste is. I used a red onion today. You can use a red onion or a nice yellow onion. You need a mild onion, not just something too strong. Sablé, and let's have a look. We do have a napkin because you will get quite messy with this. Anything like us, and the soup will mark your t-shirt. So, a napkin, spoons, go outside, enjoy yourself, and have a really great weekend. And let's see if the guys are still there, should we? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think they're coming. They're calling me. There we are. And bye, everyone. This is Maggie. Say bye. No day saying. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you next week, same time. Bye.
20 bucks. Their fingers bleed for
bye, guys.
They can't
And pay the rent. All right, you what you spent. You can pay by on 20 bucks.